House Bill 777, lucky number 7. Where are we? There we are. Louisiana House Bill 777 would criminalize librarians and libraries who join the American Library Association. So, yeah, just that title sums it up, but doesn't quite get how terrible it is. So, librarians are among the most trusted professionals in the states, according to several studies of parents on the perceptions of professions. Lawmakers across the country continue to infantilize and criminalize library workers. The 2024 legislative session has been particularly eager to capitalize on the rhetoric from the far right on libraries, as seen through several bills aimed at not only limiting the types of books allowed in schools and public libraries, but also in how the profession itself may operate. I should probably mention this is coming to us from bookriot.com and was originally sent to me by Fennec.
I understand that, like, a part of it is just the general anti-intellectualism on the right, because it turns out you can get more people voting for you if you put in a bunch of policies that are against people's expectations, if they are also stupid and therefore don't know how to find out about the policies you're pushing through. And so doing everything in your power to make sure that people end up less informed is in your best interest if you are that type of politician.
Yeah, no,
but like...
The right wing campaigns against education everywhere they can.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Like sex education? No, we can't have kids learning about consent and when to report sketchy behavior by adults, because then all of our old creepy congressmen couldn't marry their child brides.
That they probably ended up ordering from a different country, while also being anti-immigration.
I used to work with a lady who was a mail-order bride in her youth.
Really?
Yes.
Jesus.
She was not a pleasant person. And I'm not sure, like, I don't know what her home life was like, so I'm not sure that I could blame her. But yeah, I've got lots of stories that I'm not going to tell because, yeah.
I've got lots of stories. Well, are you going to tell them? No.
Fuck you. I'm keeping them to myself.
Well, damn.
So in Utah, they passed a bill that would pull books off the shelves in school libraries if the title is pulled in any other district in the state. So, like, oh, if they felt the need to pull it, then it must be worth pulling, so we'll pull it too. Which is a blatant removal of the local control that the very anti-library advocates... I can't read today. The very anti-library advocates themselves demand. So, like, remember, these are, like, small government people who are, like, everything should, as much as possible, should be done at the local level. And the idea behind that is the people at the local level are the ones that are actually living there, so they understand the situation best, so they can best do what needs to be done. Except when it's stuff that they don't like, then we need to regulate it at the state and national level to make sure that, like, kids don't learn that gay people exist.
They're not actually legislating it at the state or federal level. No. They're legislating it at the local level and then making everybody participate in other local things. See, it's very different in the way that it's completely the fucking same.
Yeah. Idaho did a similar thing. They tried to, and they were using rhetoric talking about pornography in libraries, which is very much related to the QAnon conspiracy shit. Georgia, that's you. No. You guys failed to pass the bad bill. So good on you, Georgia. You did a good.
Cool. I'm
so
happy.
That would have banned the American Library Association from school and public libraries statewide, and the respective funding from the nation's largest professional association for library workers, because the ALA gives out a lot of grants to libraries to run programs that are, like, great for the community. So if you can't be associated with the ALA, then you can't get that grant money.
Yeah.
So then it gets, Louisiana continues these efforts in an ongoing move by politicians in the state to damage public libraries with House Bill 777. Was introduced by Representative Kelly Dickerson, who also helped fund the Louisiana Freedom Caucus. So that's the kind of people she is.
Yay.
So this bill would criminalize library workers and libraries for joining the American Library Association. So like not just like civil penalties, but like actually it is a criminal offense.
You've committed a felony because you've decided to join other librarians.
By accepting a grant to read books to kids, you've committed a crime. So the American Library Association is the largest and oldest professional organization for library workers in the nation. Now, this story kind of hits close to home for me. My father was the head of the reference department of a Niagara Falls library, and he has his master's in library science. So like libraries and books and everything like this shit is important to me. So naturally, I put on the goofy hat because someone redeemed a hat thing to show how seriously I take this. Yeah, it was founded in 1876, and this Twitter thread that we're not going to look at is a fantastic resource on the history and purpose of the organization.
Can we agree on something real quick? That if you are a police officer and you are tasked with serving the warrant or doing the arrest for somebody who joins the library association, that you are actually proving every single person who says ACAB unironically, you're proving those people right when you're like, well, I guess I have to serve this order. I guess it's my job. No. If enough police officers look at that and go, huh, that's stupid, I'm not fucking doing that, guess what? Nobody gets arrested for this dumb shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but that'll affect my job. What are they going to do? Arrest you? Yeah. Then looks like you found the other bad apples, guy.
They can fucking kill people on the job with no consequences, and they're worried about not arresting the librarians for being a member of a library association? Reploid404 says, you look like the Puritan pilgrim that you hate. LOL. Only needs a belt around the bottom. Never you know. This is my Gandalf. Well, this is actually my kid's Gandalf hat. He was Gandalf for Halloween. Yeah, not this past Halloween, but the one before that, I think. Might have been the one before that. I'm not sure. But he was Gandalf at some point. This is his hat.
Rand the Fool says, you don't have to. You can literally say no. Yeah, but then another police officer takes the case and then does it again. What I'm saying is it literally requires each police officer who looks at that warrant to go, this is stupid, and I don't have the crayons to explain why this is stupid. It can't just be one officer going, no, and I'm going to take a stand. No, it literally has to be each one that would possibly take it.
Less Than Lucid says, CSI Library Police. So now I'm picturing them like, we went through the bank records, and what did we find? We found a charge to the American Library Association.
Rand says, enough saying it's stupid, we'll do something. Yes, Rand the Fool, thank you for restating what I said. That's why I said that. So, it takes that much.
So this is a short bill. Let's read the text of the bill. Well, it would amend the law with this text. So HB 777 text reads, no public official or employee shall appropriate, allocate, reimburse, or otherwise in any way expend public funds to or with the American Library Association or its successor. No public employee shall request or receive reimbursement or remuneration in any form from continuing God damn it. Or remuneration in any form for continuing education or for attending a conference if the continuing education or conference was sponsored by, conducted in whole or in part by the American Library Association or its successor. And those are the two stipulations. So you can't give them money and you can't accept money from them. Now,
I guess you just get to starve.
So the headline here was that librarians, it's criminal for them to join the ALA. If they pay their dues themselves, which, let's be clear, sometimes when you're hired by a library, one of the perks is that they will pay for your membership in something like the ALA. So like that's now out the window. They can't do that. So you can, in theory, still do that with your own personal funds and become a member of the ALA. However, as we saw with the Fani Willis and her potentially inappropriate relationship with Nathan Wade, because he was employed, like he was a public not prosecutor, but like he was employed by the government. He was a lawyer that was employed by the government to do what he did, and then they took vacations. And one of the arguments that Trump's legal team made was, since he is a public employee, when he takes those vacations on his own personal dime because he's paid by the government, that is actually public funds. Now, that got... I'm pretty sure that was just kind of laughed off. Like, no, that's not the argument here. Like, yeah, it might have been an inappropriate relationship, but we're not pretending that that's public funds. But, you know, you get another Trump term, he gets enough Eileen Cannons in the court system, and suddenly that becomes a viable argument. So, strictly speaking, it's not criminalized joining the ALA if you're paying for it yourself. But you can't, like, take a continuing education course and be reimbursed for that. You can't go to a conference and be reimbursed for that. You can't, your library cannot give funds to the ALA for anything. And C is the punishment section. So this is where it gets fun and just goes completely batshit off the rails crazy. Whoever violates this section shall be fined not more than $1,000 or be imprisoned with or without hard labor for not more than 2 years or both. So potentially, the punishment for being a librarian who gets reimbursed for a continuing education course is to be sentenced to 2 years of hard labor and fined $1,000.
You like books. Get on the ground.
So this is what I was doing just before the stream. I was like so proud of myself for figuring out how to do this. I can edit the HTML of the site to like insert my own images into it, so I don't have to awkwardly like bring up memes that I've made. So I made a meme and put it in the article. So we've got this screenshot from Les Miserables. What are you in for? I joined the American Library Association.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I paid my dues in the equivalent of a library union.
Not the cleverest of memes, but I managed to insert it into the webpage and made it look like it belongs there. So yeah, since the rise of book banning in early 2021, the ALA has been at the receiving end of criticism from right-wing politicians and organizations, despite no such similar pushback towards similar organizations for other professionals.
That's just fantastic. Now, I wonder how they feel about police unions with all of the violence that has happened with their... Like, that's the actual question. Like, what crimes has the Library Association committed that we are trying to effectively defund them by criminalizing involvement with them? Like, what have they done that is so heinous?
They've allowed libraries to have books that include LGBTQ people.
It's a public library, though.
Yeah.
It has everything from
this is the party.
Everything's there.
This is the party of small government who wants to keep the government out of your business. The government doesn't have any right to do whatever, unless it's something I don't like. Then suddenly the government can burn your books or whatever.
Jesus.
Yeah, so librarians are, like, they're trying to get librarians to lose their place as experts in their field with the skills, knowledge, and passion for helping connect people to vetted, accurate, verifiable information. That was literally my father's job. And they're trying to criminalize that.
It is literally from top to bottom just a way to criminalize education. That's what it is. Like, if you wanted to go be an autodidact, you wanted to go learn about a thing, you can either do that completely unsupervised on the internet where nobody can show you that you're sourcing something wrong or you're getting your information from a bunk site.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can, I don't know, go to fucking jail for trying to do it in the library. And I know there's going to be that one weird person who says who goes to libraries anymore or something like that in the comment section, but I'm just sorry.
Jess is redeeming a hydrate.
You should probably do that then. Do we actually want to live in that world? Like, do we actually want to live in the world where we don't have access to these things?
No.
Because I'd prefer, even if I don't use these all the time, I'd rather live in a world where we have access to them. I don't personally need to make use of this thing to want it to exist. You
know what my kids mainly use the library for?
A
loophole of getting out of being grounded.
Oh?
So when I ground them, it's like, it's not anything big. It's like I'll ground them from screens, video games or whatever. generally speaking, like if they're going to go somewhere and hang out with friends or like go to the park or whatever, it's like, no, that's outside healthy stuff, whatever. I'm not going to take that away as a punishment. But like video games, take away the video games, take away the TV, whatever. They will then come to me and think they're being clever and be like, can I go to the library, which has computers that I can play games on? And I will usually say yes. Because like the library is like a 20-minute walk from the house. Like, yeah, you're kind of getting out of being grounded by going somewhere to play video games, but like, you got at least 40 minutes of walking and like outdoor fresh air exercise sort of stuff before that happens. So it's like, okay, if you're willing to work that hard for it, sure, why not? Like, I know it's not that hard, but still.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. So then they say more, though, by criminalizing the library's use of taxpayer money to be members of the ALA. This bill ends up harming those very same taxpayers by removing access to grants, funds, and educational opportunities that benefit them via these libraries. It's what I was saying about how like they will fund educational programs. They give grants to libraries to do educational shit. They have probably given grants to fund a drag queen story hour, and that's another reason why they hate them.
Yeah.
So, but there are also opportunities for library workers to be a part of the process in selecting the best books annually. So like they want, sorry, we got Naram says libraries are an important resource for getting rare books, not online/research, and the poor who can't otherwise afford media and probably more. Yeah, no, that's something I've done on occasion is used. I will every now and then, if a paper that I need to read is not available on Sci-Hub, which is totally not a piracy site that I don't use, I will like text my dad and be like, hey, do you have access to this paper? And usually the answer is yes. Hasn't been necessary recently because my partner is in university where she needs to read papers and shit. So she's got a university access to most shit too. So, but yeah, no, that's one of the things you can do at the library is be like, hey, I'd like to read this research paper. It's behind a paywall. Do you have access to this? Can I get it? And usually the answer will be yes in some way.
Or if you're doing a project that requires you to look at like old newspaper clippings, a lot of times they'll have an archive of that.
Yeah. You can get out the microfiche.
Like,
there's so much that you can do at the library.
Also, it's a very good neutral public meeting ground. So like if when I was in high school, when we had group projects that required us to do stuff outside of school hours, we would go to a public library and we would meet up at the library in order to, troubleshoot, discuss, do our meetings, do everything we needed to do for the group project. And that was a very common thing that we would do anytime there was a group project that we needed to take care of. A couple of us would bring a laptop and just make sure that we could get everything taken care of there at the library. Like, it's just a very, very good location for you to get stuff done in.
Having a librarian father did make research essays pretty easy for me when I was a kid. So like I would just like write my essay using Wikipedia as the source and then like call my dad at work and be like, hey, I need like 6 books on this topic. And he'd bring them home and I'd just find places where the citations fit. Good times. The library workers select which books go in the libraries, and if these communities want actual representation in that selection process, they should probably let the library workers join the ALA so that they can like actually have a voice in that. Because if they don't, then they just get like whatever random books. But like they're undermining their own representation here. Membership in the ALA means that individuals and institutions have the chance to take a variety of professional development courses to ensure their work is aligned with the standards of the profession more broadly, including ensuring that it remains a space of democracy, inquiry, and access. So, like, yeah, as like library science is a real thing, and it does progress, and librarians need to learn the new stuff so that they can keep up with the changes. So if you take that away from them, your library is going to be like you're going to end up with a library that you can only look up where books are with the card drawers things instead of having a computerized system.
Yay. Yeah, it's great. Jinx saying Suris is muted, I think. No, there's another person talking. That's what?
Fendick is asking if I told my dad about this article. No, not yet. I definitely will be discussing it with him. So then it says, Dickerson and her ilk are eager to destroy and dismantle public schools, public and school libraries. By attempting to find libraries and library workers, they make keeping Louisiana libraries aligned with the best of the best impossible, and they make keeping Louisiana libraries aligned with the best of the best impossible, and instead create these institutions in their own image, which is ignorance, basically. Yeah, that image is one where the library doesn't exist to serve an entire community, but to serve a specific demographic that may or may not live in those communities. The white people. You can just say white people. It's for heterosexual, cis, white people who are afraid of minorities.
Yeah, it turns out that when you make something public access and publicly accessible, everybody tends to utilize it, especially if that public access thing tends to be in, say, a neighborhood that may or may not line up with certain red line demographics of the 50s.
Oh, yeah. Well, talking about redlining is woke, Suris. Don't you know that?
Yeah, apparently.
We don't want to be part of the woke mob.
I'm sorry, I forgot that.
We don't want to be part of the woke mob.
Oh, God.
Get your tinfoil hats out.
Why? Why?
Fennec says cis-het white men. Yes. Particularly men. Why?
Like
why?
what?
Because Jassa is in my chat.
And asked you to... Did they do the redeem for the hats?
They did the redeem for the hats, yes.
Ah.
It's Jassa and Dark Excalibur who are doing the hats tonight. So, yeah, then they point out that, you know, how ridiculous it is that a librarian could be sentenced to hard labor for joining a librarian organization.
Yeah.
So the bill would also potentially kill one of the largest graduate school programs in the state of Louisiana, which is Louisiana State's University Masters of Library and Information Science program. That's the program my dad did, not the one in Louisiana. I think he actually got his master's in Buffalo, if I recall correctly. But like
the tinfoil hat blocks the radio waves the government uses to spy on you.
Yeah, but yeah, it does. It sure does. But yeah, the ALA is part of the accreditation. I'm never sure what word to use there.
I always just say accreditation.
Accreditation. The program is accredited by the ALA. So yeah, the ALA is a part of the process by which these schools can be accredited for that. So if you can't if taking money from the ALA or giving money to the ALA becomes a crime punishable by hard labor, you can't have an accredited program for that anymore.
I want to ask the politician who drafted this modification to that bill. I want to ask them, what the fuck were they smoking? And I feel like it would be a fair question to ask.
Yeah, so this is where the article gets into. My highlights got a little wonky here. I'm not sure why. Whatever. I don't care. But it says, like, even if the bill is limited to only the use of tax money to support membership or attendance or enrollment in the ALA-sponsored professional development things, take a moment to look into whether or not police, fire, or other public entities are subject to similar legislation in Louisiana or elsewhere. The answer is no, they're not.
It's just the libraries?
You can join the police union, you can join police organizations, fire organizations, whatever. And the government doesn't have a say
join
in that.
the Freemasons and nobody's going to look at you the same way that they look at you for joining a library association.
I imagine you're not going to have the police department or fire department covering all or part of your dues for that. Yeah. So apparently, according to U.S. News, Louisiana is ranked 41 out of 50 in K through 12 and 49 out of 50 in higher ed. So,
and after this, they will continue to be like that.
Yep. This ain't gonna help. I also like the person who introduced this bill. I looked into on the Louisiana legislation sites. I looked into other bills that she's co-sponsored, and aside from boring procedural shit, It's all the stuff you would think of, like Louisiana's ban trans people from bathroom thing. She was a co-sponsor on that one. And yeah, bunch of shit like that where it's exactly what you would expect. So yeah, if you live in Louisiana, you can contact your representatives as soon as possible. I've only got about 100 viewers on my end, so I don't know how many of you are in Louisiana, but I am going to post some links in the chat. So that is so the first link is what's it called? One of those things that you signed a petition. That's the word, petition. One of those is that the first link that I sent is a petition that you can sign to let them know. And then that one is the contact your rep thing. But also if you go to, let's see, where
Rodimus says the feeling when you make a has-been reference and Suris misses it. It's not that I missed it.
Wait, did I make a has-been reference accidentally?
No, J. Rodimus did, and I didn't immediately comment on it. But I didn't immediately comment on it because there's another person in the stream who's also talking using his mouth words. But yes, I did get your quote.
Okay. You can interrupt me. I do it to you often enough.
That's fair. That's fair. Banks are a scam from the shadow government.
That was a has-been hotel reference?
Yeah, it's from one of the later episodes.
I've seen them all now.
They say stupid shit all the time.
Oh, yes. Yes, okay.
Banks are a scam from the shadow government.
Okay.
See?
Can I just say that, so I've always kind of had an affinity for, like the meme thing where something gets called a boy with BOI at the end. And so it made me laugh when I was looking up the voice of the bartender, the cat guy.
Husker.
Yes. When I was looking up his voice, because he's also Bolo in Final Space, and I recognized his voice, but I couldn't.
He's also the Arbiter in Halo.
I don't play
and
Halo.
The President in Rick and Morty.
Okay, yeah, he's a lot of things. Okay, but Final Space is where I knew him from. But when I went to look him up, I saw that the Egg Boys were actually like Egg BOI, and I was like, oh, love it. That's great. Let's see. Someone actually linked to. There we go. I'm going to send the link to the actual legislation because on the summary section. So that's the actual legislation on the Louisiana bill tracking website, like the official one or whatever, and it's got a comment section. So you'll see I am the only person to have commented on this, where I say, wow, 2 years of hard labor for getting reimbursed for attending a continuing education class. The party of limited government intervention is at it again.
Jesus Christ.
So feel free to go to that one and add your comments.
Push the comment to the top as well. Add your comment and then
add your comments to how ridiculous this fucking bill is. Not that that's really going to do much, but like it would be satisfying to me that when everybody who feels the need to actually look up this bill looks it up, they see a flurry of comments from people making fun of how fucking stupid it is.
Also, Cathode RayTube says, why can you do that so well? Wait, do what? Like the egg voices or Serpentious' voice?
Serpentious. You that was a spot on Serpentious. I should have commented on that.
Look, I had to begin my day doing voiceover work that I completely was not able to do yesterday because I was too busy doing construction yesterday. Everything hurts, but there's a wall demolished in my house now, and there's glue on the floor.
I'm sending the link again because apparently I only sent it to the Twitch chat. I didn't send it to the YouTube chat. And I might need to send the other ones too, so I'm going to send the other ones as well.
No, yeah, Keith Davis
that one
does
is
a ton
that
of
one
voice.
is the that one is the petition, and that one is the contact your reps.
Fritz says the voice acting classes are paying off, but it wasn't voice acting classes, it was singing classes. It's just also a transferable skill.
Yeah. Okay, so next up, as I give you guys a few seconds to all go comment on the bill with the first link that I provided. So just gonna wait a second, let everybody click. Okay. Next, now that you've all done that, and there are going to be like 50 comments on that. Now, Fennec says I remembered how to pin things. Yay. Or are you a mod over there, Fennec? I hope you're a mod over there. And you actually...
Fennec's a mod on your channel.
Okay, there we go. Because I don't, like, I know how to pin things, but I don't have the actual Twitch chat open. I just have, like, other things accessing the Twitch chat, and I don't have the ability to pin.
My name is Bucket says...
yes, you made me one, damn it. Yes, I did.
Says Keith David's best voice acting role was probably Spawn. I don't know. The line in Halo where the Prophet of Truth goes... the voice of the Covenant.
Okay.
And then fucking Keith Davids goes, then you must be silenced. It's just like, oh, that's great.
So Satan in Has Been Hotel, when he showed up, I was like, I kind of recognize his voice too. Looked him up on IMDb. I didn't look at everything that he's in, so I'm sure there's something else that I recognize him from, but the first thing that I saw that I'm like, oh yeah, I've seen that, was he plays Octo in Super Kitties, which is something that the 4-year-old and the 6-year-old in my house, it's a really, really terrible kids show that is absolutely painful to watch, that I never, like, they haven't watched it in a while, and I hope they never remember that it fucking exists.
But now you've said it, so they're gonna remember.
No, I have not said it where they can hear me. So
Jesus.
If they remember, then I'll be like, hey, there are new episodes of Bluey. Let's go watch those.
See, now I'm gonna be stuck. Okay, so I love that 2/3 of the song Hell's Greatest Dad is good.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, I clicked on a link when I meant to click on a on the super chat. So Balthazar 228 sent $10, says, how can there be libertarians if libertaries don't exist?
Libertaries?
Libertaries. Going down to the Libertary to check me out some books.
Some box. You gotta just you have to misspell everything, but then say it phonetically. Go and check out some box. And I'm so happy that everybody in my chat right now is unanimous in their hatred for Mimsy and Has Been. She really did ruin that song.
Which one is Mimsy?
Mimsy is the one that begins in Hell's Greatest Dad going, it's me, it's
oh,
me.
Yeah, okay. She's the one that shows up when she needs what's-his-face to fix things for her.
Yeah, she only ever goes to Alistair when she's fucked something up. And I hate her. I feel like you're supposed to hate her. I feel like you're supposed to. I know I'm supposed to hate her. They did a good job making me despise her. But I hate her more, not for her place in the story. I hate her more because I have to cut off Hell's Greatest Dad in the last third of the song every time I'm listening to it because of her fucking intrusion. That's why. Because I love that song so much. And then she shows up. And I know I can't.
Let's see. Oh, there's still only one comment on the bill. Come on, guys. Go comment on the bill.
Hey, I just quickly want to give a thank you to all of my wonderful patrons who keep this show running. YouTube and Twitch are a pretty bumpy ride at the best of times, and the stability a Patreon provides me is worth more than I can say here. I'd also like to thank each and every one of my $20 and up patrons here, and they would be Red Joker, Britzkrieg, Cameron, Dren, Jemshin, Smiling DM, Poundini, Mabbity Babbity, Naomi, Isaac, Nixie Chan, the Oberon team, Agamotto, Jordan, Ravi, Giuni, Kiratorian, Prisma, all of you, I'm not saying that part, and Starlight. And finally, thank you to everyone else that helps keep this channel alive. While you're here, why not check out another video? And thank you for watching.